here we're going to look at this problem, problem 6. If 14% is 3% of some total, what is that total? Okay, so they tell us that 14 is 3% of some total. If it's 3%, it's not 100%. So that means this is the part, and the whole is what we're looking for. So in terms of the characterization we talked about earlier, this is going to be a whole problem. Okay, so let us begin. So first we're going to do our normal setup, right? So part, whole, and percent. And we're going to list what they give us. 14 is 3% of our whole, which is unknown to us, and therefore I'm going to place in its place an x. Okay? So once you list your unknowns, once you list your givens and your unknowns, you write down your formula. Part over whole equals percent over 100. Okay? Then I plug in. This implies that my part, which is 14, divided by my whole, which is x, is equal to 3 over 100. Okay? So now I have my setup here. 14 over x equals to 3 over 100. And as we've seen before, we can solve it like this. If a over b equals c over d, then AD equals BC. Okay? Okay. Okay. So if if A over B equals C over D, then AD equals BC. So AD is going to be 14 times 100, okay, equals to 3 times x, BC. Okay? Now, if you do the multiplication for 14 times 100, you'll see that that's going to be 1400. Okay? So I'm going to have 1400 equals to 3x. Okay, and in fact, let me just do that here really briefly, just for completeness. So again, 14 times 100. Okay? 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 1 is 4. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. And then I add this to 0, 0, 4, 1. Okay? Yes. So now the way that I'm going to solve it is I need to get the x by itself because the x is what we're looking for here. So I'm going to divide by 3. I'm going to divide by 3. Okay? And I see that my x is going to be 1400 divided by 3. Okay? So now I'm going to perform the long division for us. Okay? That way we can see how we can best express this result. Okay? So the question I'm going to ask is how many, so 3 goes into 1400. Okay? Okay. So does 3 go into 1? No. Does 3 go into 14? Yes. It turns out that 3 times 4 is 12. So we're going to put 4 here. 4 times 3 is 12, as we mentioned. So I'm going to have 4 minus 2 is 2. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. And then I'm going to bring down this 0 here. So I'm going to have 20. 3 goes into 20. Well, 6 times. Because 6 times 3 is 18. Okay? So 6 times 3 is 18. So I put the 18 there. And I ask myself, okay, what is 20 minus 18? Let me do that here. 20 minus 18 is equal to, can I take away 8 from 0? No, it's 0 is less than 8. So I have to borrow here. This 2 becomes a 1, and this becomes a 10. Can I take away 8 from 10? Yes. 10 minus 8 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0, so the answer here is 2. So I put a 2 here, and I bring down a 0. Okay? I can see that 6 times 3 is still 18. So So I put a 6 here. 6 and 3 is 18. And I can subtract and I get 2. Now there's no more numbers to drop. So I can already take this division as it stands to represent that 1400 over 3 is the number 466 and 2/3. Okay. But what I want, but I could continue this, right? I could say, okay, I'm going to change my color now. I'm going to put a decimal point here. I'm going to affix a 0, and I'm going to drop it here, and that becomes a 20. And then you can see that it's going to keep on going, right? It's going to keep on, it's going to be 6, 6 and 3 is 18, 20 minus 18 will be 2. I'm going to add another 0. I'll bring it down, it'll become 20 again, and this will continue forever. So this 6 is going to be repeated over and over and over again. And to represent that, I'm going to write this bar here. And that means that it's going to be 466 point, and then 6 repeating forever. And so I could also write this equals as 466.6 with the bar on top of the 6. Okay? Okay. So now we're prepared to answer our question. If 14 is 3% of some total, what is that total? Well, that total is 466 and 2/3, or alternatively, 466.6 with the little bar on top of the 6. Thank you.